Hello everybody, we are back with chapter 26 of Storm and Fury. I am hype, I'm excited, I can't believe we're coming towards the end, and I am honestly seconds away from pre-ordering the next book. I'm ready, I need it in my life, I don't want to wait till June. But yeah, so we are on chapter 26. If you've never watched one of these videos before, I kind of summarize them, summarize the chapter while I go through it, so if you don't want spoilers, I would recommend reading it first and then coming back and talking about it. But yeah, so just if you haven't read it yet and you want to, I would stop, pause, go read until chapter 26 and watch the videos after, read after along the way or whatever you want to do. But yeah, so chapter 26 starts out with Zane immediately saying that he does not like the idea of Trinity going with Roth to go see the witches coven. And honestly, I can't say I blame him, just because, you know, he seems to have this protective side of her, protective side to her, and I mean, he can't go. So the idea of her, since she is so human, being put in danger, it's kind of frightening. So I do not blame him at all for not wanting Trinity to go. So Zane says that he trusts Roth, but he doesn't trust the witches, and Trinity needs to be very careful around them. Which is kind of a given, but at the same time, with the decisions Trinity seems to be making right now, I think it's important to remind her. But yeah, so Zane says not to make deals with them for information because the price is never what you expect, which is definitely something that gets brought up a lot and throughout literature, is that when you make a deal, you don't always know what the price is. And I don't know what, I kind of want to know, the original person who made this trope, what were they going through? What were they making deals with? In what situation arose where they were burned on a deal and they were like, yeah, I need to make this into a trope. I need to write this in a book. That's what I need to know. Trinity says that she will pay anything, and Zane says that is exactly why he's worried. I guess just go ahead and remind him of why he needs to have fear of Trinity, because that's just... this is exactly the problem. I don't understand. Trinity asks if Zane really knows what it's like, because he only ever makes vague statements about it, which is something I mentioned before, is that we don't know anything about Zane. We, both Zane and Trinity are very vague about their past. They open up a little, but we don't know that much about either character. So they really could have anything could happen, and I would not be surprised because we don't know anything about them. Zane says that he does understand and that he's been desperate enough to do anything, and it never ends well. And I'm just like, Zane, tell us what happened. Oh my gosh, talk through your emotions. I need to know what happened. Trinity asks if that's how he lost a part of his soul, because apparently she holds nothing back, ever. She has no filter at all. Zane demands to know who told her that, you should, because that's not something you want to be let out, but you know. Trinity says that Misha did, and that he heard it, and he heard that Zane lost a part of his soul, and that's why his eyes are a different color. And then, you know, Zane confirms that it's true, which is not great. But one, I'm glad we unpacked some of Zane's past, but two, yikes, because I feel bad for Zane, and that's rough. Trinity wakes up from a nightmare. So we flash forward, and now Trinity's waking up from a nightmare that a demon is about to kill her, which is not great. It is not good. Those are scary nightmares, and I'm worried they're visions, but that's just me. Zane heard her scream in her sleep, and he comes in the room to check on her all nice-like. And I'm just, at that point, if I heard someone scream in their sleep, I'd probably barge in. He walks in all nice and softly to check in on her. If I heard a scream, I'm running in there. But Zane sits next to her on the bed and says that he's sorry about everything and that she's been through so much. Which, yeah. Trinity says that she's sorry and asks him about the soul thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to read from this because this is a lot. So Zane says if the witches... Oh, no, Trinity says that she's sorry she asked him about the soul thing. She doesn't bring it up again, which is probably a good thing. Like, I do want to know details about it. Like, I want to know how it happened, but I guess we're not there yet. But Zane says that the witches are going... if the witches turn out to be the witches that form the spell, things are going to go south real fast. And if things go bad, she should use her grace and get out of it by fighting. Like, if she can't get out of it through fighting, which makes me worried because I'm nervous that this is foreshadowing and that she's not going to be able to get out. And it's going to get bad. But Trinity says that no one has ever said that she should actually use her grace. And I kind of think that's a little sad, personally, because... You know, she has all this power and they never let her use it or train her to use it, and I feel like she could be a lot stronger if she knew how to use this part of herself. And I feel like it's like she has a superpower that they just told her to like push it down, you know? Like this is like Elsa from Frozen. And I didn't think I was gonna make a Frozen comparison, but it is. It is exactly like that, okay? It's sad, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Don't hide parts of yourself, okay? But Zane asks what happened with her mother, and Trinity says that her mom was trained because she didn't want anyone to take care of her while she sat like a, quote, frail flower. And I love that, okay? Like, equal rights, please. Like, I don't understand why these wardens don't train the women wardens. Like... I don't get it. We've already talked about how their population, how their like how their species as a whole is dwindling, and I just don't understand why they don't train the women so that there can be more people to protect everyone. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. But we find out that Theory and Matthew are the ones who train her, and that the guy who killed her mom was friends with all of them, and also his name is Riker. And first of all, Riker just sounds like a bad guy, and I'm pretty sure he is a bad guy in another movie that I can't think of right now. And if you guys think about it, just like comment it below, because I can't remember what that movie is, but Riker is definitely a bad guy in a movie. At least he just sounds like a bad guy, you know? I don't feel like there's a good guy named Riker. It just kind of sounds threatening to me. But that's just me. Trin says that she messed up. She was training with Misha, and he got the upper hand because he was purposely trying to exploit her weaknesses to make her better, like hiding in her blind spots, you know, because she has a tunnel vision problem. And so she got angry, and I can understand that, because sometimes it's like when people purposely start to pick at things, you know, and you're kind of competitive, you get a little angry, you know. But Trinity got mad at Misha, and she was being kind of rat, and she let her grace take over, and Riker saw. So Riker told a few other people, and they decided that they needed to that she needed to be put down. So my question here is, how do you watch a child grow up, and she is only 16 years old at this point? So like, how do you watch a child grow up to like a 16-year-old and decide to kill her for being different? You know, like this is someone I think she moved there when she was like 7 or 8. So it's like you've seen her like form into an adult. You're friends with her mom, you know, like you're friends with her. I just don't understand how you can turn on someone like that, you know? Like that's, like you have to have love for this kid that you've watched grow up. Like I don't understand. But he waited a year to attack Trinity, and in that year he still pretended to like and be friends with all of them, like while secretly hating her. And to me, that's almost worse than like killing her outright, because it's like you can see that they obviously trusted him, you know, and he pretended to still care for all of them, and it's just, that is awful. Like, that is, I don't know, that's just so much worse. And then my other question is how did Trinity know that that is the moment he found out when he decides to attack her a full year later? That's the part that I really don't understand, is how is she sure that he witnessed her in that moment? Because she had no idea that he actually saw. She had no idea until he attacked her a year later. So I don't understand how she could have possibly known that that was the moment, but that's just me. So what they had left, Trinity and her mom left the community to go see a doctor in Morgantown, and Riker went with them, and he had gone with them before, but he said there was something wrong with the car, and so Trinity and her mom got out, and he changed and shifted into his warden form and like attacked them. And Trinity was so shocked that she was like frozen, and Trinity's mom jumps in front of her, and that was that. And the weird thing to me is that they won't say why Trinity was at the doctor in Morgantown, because she'd gone there quite a few times. So I don't understand what illness Trinity had that they had to keep going to this doctor that a warden doctor couldn't handle. And I don't know, I have quite a few questions about that entire situation. To me, it almost feels like a setup, because I don't know, I feel like she would, if she actually had an illness, she would have told Zane what the illness is, instead of saying that they went to a doctor for something. You know? I don't know, the entire situation seems weird, because we also don't know who Riker told in the moment. Like, when she tells the story, she says that he told a few of his other, like the other wardens, but she never mentions who they are. But except like that, she'd mentioned at one point earlier in the book that they had been dealt with, but we don't know who they are. We don't know why she's going to the doctors all the time. We don't really know anything about the situation. So, and this seems to have been before Misha was chosen. Well, no, because it hadn't been after, so I don't understand why Misha, like, who is her protector, didn't go with them either. I don't know, I have a lot of questions about that situation, and I don't know if they'll ever be answered, but yeah. So, Zane says that it's the warden's fault and not Trinity's, but Trinity keeps blaming herself, saying that she should have used her grace. And this is another reason I think she should have been trained to use her grace, because it's so far on the back burner for her that she can't even react and pull it out, you know? She's taught to use it as a last resort instead of being taught to use it as an option. So, I don't know. I think she should get training to use it, you know? Especially because in those situations, like, let's say whoever her father is calls on her right now, okay? She doesn't ever use her grace. She has no training with it, and I'm making an assumption here that in whatever war this is, she's gonna have to solely rely on her grace for the entire time. Like, I don't think she's gonna have a human form after all this goes on. So I wonder why they don't train her in it. I don't know. I have some questions about that. But yeah, Trinity keeps blaming herself and saying that she should have used her grace. But yeah. So yeah. But anyways, we find out that Zayn was fighting with his dad before he died because of Layla. But before he died, he started to realize that your DNA doesn't exactly dictate whether you're good or bad. Which is good that he's starting to realize that, because I don't know, I'm a firm believer that you are who you become. You know, your actions determine what kind of person you are. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's good that his father started to realize that. It's wild to me that we're halfway through this book and there's so much we don't know about the two like main characters, you know? I want to know more about this situation with Zayn and Layla, and I want to know more about Trinity's past and who her father is. There's just so much I don't know that I want to know. Like, I'm really getting into this book. Like, I'm glad, I don't remember who suggested this book in the group, like in the Barely Book Club, but whoever did, like, thank you, because this book is so stinking good. I love it. I may dog on it a little bit and want to know more, but oh my gosh, I love it. It's so good. But anyways, they end up turning off the light and they're just kind of hanging out and sitting there because Trinity, with her nightmares, doesn't really want to be alone. And Zayn says that Trinity looks like her mom and that she has some nice reading material. And I can't remember what the book is that's Trinity constantly carries around. I can't remember off the top of my head. But Trinity says that was her and her mom's favorite book, but she's unsure if Vikings would be Zayn's thing, which does not cue me in because I can't remember what book it is, I'm sorry. But Zayn says he thinks that his ceiling could use some stars, because Trinity had mentioned previously that she misses her stars, that she has like her plastic stars that she uses at night that light up like her ceiling. And Trinity gets excited because she thought he would say he thought it was childish, but Zayn says that he's full of surprises, which just makes me want to know more about him. I want to see his character development. So Trinity asks why he doesn't have a girlfriend, and Zayn says that he's not sure how to answer that, and then Zayn asks her why she doesn't have a boyfriend. So Trinity says that's easy because she's a true born posing as a human in a warden community, which makes her dating options very limited. And Zayn says that's a good point and asks her if Misha ever had anything. If her and Misha ever had anything. And at this point I thought this was gonna get juicy, but it doesn't. Sorry to disappoint you all, because the tension. So she says no, and trueborns also aren't supposed to date their protectors. So Zayn finally says that he is 22 and supposed to already be mated because most of the people he grew up with are mated and have a kid on their way. But he says no one can force him into a lifelong commitment, even though that their lifespan, like wardens in general, aren't very long. And we find out that most wardens do not live through to a retiring age because, you know, their lives are obviously very strenuous, and your survival rating does not seem to be very high, which is not good. Which also, this points out the fact that my theory earlier was that they had arranged marriages, but it sounds more like you kind of are dating someone at high school and then you marry them, and their mating is for life, so you can't get a divorce. And like, well, I'm lucky because I'm still with the person I was dating in high school, but I'm just imagining my friends, and I don't think I know anyone else who is still with the same person that they were dating in high school, because I can't imagine if my friends had to stay with the same person they were dating for high school for their entire life. Like, that's probably why most of the people in the warden community are not happy with their significant others, because they've been forced into this lifelong commitment through an impulse, I guess is the best way to put it, you know? When they think that they will survive, they will not survive long, they just marry whoever they like at the time. Like, that's kind of sad. Like, allow wardens to get a divorce, please. Like, this is not good. Ugh, jeez, it's just so bad. But Trinity asked Zane if he wanted to be anything else, and Zane says he never even considered it. And it mentions that he talks. So then it mentions like that he talks about learning the streets and shadowing his father, but then Trinity falls asleep, and that's the end of the chapter. We don't really get a lot of details about his life with his dad, but you know, it kind of just a little summary. But yeah, I don't know, I'm really enjoying this book so far. It's so, honestly, it's really well written, and it's just really good. I really like it. I don't know what that says about me, but I'm enjoying it a lot. I hope if any of you guys are also reading it, I hope you guys are enjoying it just as much as me, and that whenever we end up reading next, you guys will also like. I don't really know what I'm gonna do after this Storm and Fury series is over, because I know I'm gonna be recording whatever we choose in the Barely Book Club also, but I'll probably go and actually look at like other YouTubers' book tags, because I've never done one of those before, and that seems kind of fun. And I don't know, if you have suggestions what kind of videos you want me to film, I guess put that in the comments, because I'm gonna be open to suggestions soon. And yeah, I'll have the next chapter out, you know, on my normal Monday, Friday schedule. So that'll be up for you guys to check out. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to join the Barely Book Club, the link will be down in the comments. And if you want to read some of my reviews and my short stories online and all my writing tips, I'll have a link down below to that also. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this little summary thing that I do, like the video, show support by commenting, I don't know. If you want to get more updates, make sure to subscribe so you can find this again and all that good stuff. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!